What is going on, everybody in the audience? Hope you guys are doing well today. It's your boy Jupiness. We're back today with another video. Funny story. I was just recording this video literally like a minute ago, and I guess when I reached over here, I accidentally clicked the space bar, and well, it ended the video. So I pushed my my keyboard a little further back so that doesn't happen again. But we're back. Maybe I can just, I'm gonna go through everything all over again because I really don't mind. Hope you guys are doing well. It's 1:25 in the morning, Wednesday the 28th. Hope you guys are doing well wherever it is that you're watching this. Perhaps you're at home, in bed, and at work. I hope you enjoy this video. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys my handheld collection. I was really excited to make this video for the simple fact that I love handhelds. I love the handhelds that I have. I love the world of handheld gaming. Since I was a kid, I was always into handheld gaming. I had a Game Boy Advance SP when I was a kid. I then had my Nintendo DS Lite. I got my first Nintendo 3DS Flame Red in 2011, 2012, around there. I have it with me today to show you guys. And I'm going to be showing you guys all my stuff. I've seen other people make videos on their handheld collections, and I absolutely love watching their videos. And see what they think and their opinions on the handhelds that they own. And I wanted to share this awesome collection with you guys. It's not huge. It's not anything crazy. It's not like I have 50 Game Boys and 50 DSs. It's my little humble collection that I all equally use. I use every single one of my handhelds. They all have a dedicated purpose in my life. And at the end of the day, it's a handheld. Maybe you wanted to play a PS5 game, or a PS4 game, or an Xbox 360 game. You got to play it on the console, right? Not with handhelds, man. You pick them up, take them with you, especially if you hack them or mod them, or get them set up real nicely. You're set, man. So all of these handhelds, whenever I'm playing on them, they go with me in my bag anywhere that I go. And we're gonna start off with this bad boy right here. I'm going to be 100% honest with every single one of you. I do not like this Game Boy. It's not that I don't like the Game Boy. Let me clarify. I don't like the shell on this thing. This is obviously a reshelled Game Boy Advance SP AGS 001. I don't like this shell. Whoever reshelled it. Long story short, me and my buddies, my wife, and then my brother, we all went to a local game con or game show, whatever you want to call it. I'm in Michigan, so you don't really see a lot of those here. I mean, we do get Comic Cons, we do get expos and all this stuff, but you never really get a solid game show, right? Where you can see retro game systems, purchase retro games. And so we went to this retro game con, or game, whatever you want to call it. It's like 45 minutes away. And I went with the intention of picking up a Game Boy Advance SP. I was feeling nostalgic, and I started to remember the days of when I had my Game Boy Advance SP when I was a kid, playing Donkey Kong Country on it, sharing it with my brother. I remember whenever I would die, and I lost all. Whenever I die, I'd give it to him. He would try it out. If he died, give it back to me. And it was an awesome experience as a child having it. And so I picked this thing up. It's reshelled with the Zelda, Zelda theme. I don't like it because, number one, it's poorly shelled. As you can see, there's a gap right here. If I take off the battery compartment cover and take out the battery, there's a missing screw here that holds this together and seals it shut. Another thing is, I don't really like the triggers on this. Whenever they reshelled it, they did a poor job because I have to press hard on it. I mean, they feel tactile for sure, it's playable, but it doesn't feel authentic. And I know that, any aftermarket Game Boy reshell that you pick up is not going to feel authentic. I don't want it to feel authentic. I want it to feel natural, and these, triggers just do not feel natural whatsoever. I also don't like the hinge on this thing. It's not the greatest hinge. As you can see, it stops there, so it overextends and then stops. You can see it overextends and stops. And then when you close it, it has a snapshot, but it doesn't have the snapshot that we want. You know what I'm saying? And so my apologies, everybody. I had to run off screen for a quick little second. But as I was saying, I don't know. I don't really like this reshell. But I picked it up at the game show. I mean, as you can see, like I said before, the hinge isn't all that great. You can't really see it in this lighting, but in this area here, you can see that whoever reshelled this thing, they put in a longer screw than they needed to, so there's a little nipple here. I also don't like the speaker holes. The sound on this Game Boy is lower compared to another Game Boy that I have here. But nonetheless, it's an AGS 001. It plays games perfectly fine. It's great. I used it for a few weeks. But yeah, it's an awesome Game Boy. I mean, the Game Boy, you can't go wrong with the Game Boy. But I do absolutely plan on reshelling this thing and throwing an IPS display. But that's my first thing. My next one is the Game Boy that I actually do like. This is an original AGS 001 Game Boy Advance SP in silver, obviously. I had this thing for a couple of weeks before I had decided that I wanted to pick up another Game Boy, and the Game Boy that I picked up, I wanted it to be an original. I didn't want it to be a reshell. I didn't want it to be aftermarket. I wanted it to be an original shelled with original pieces. I wanted it to be an original Game Boy Advance. At first, I thought, well, what are the odds that I'll be able to find a decent condition Game Boy Advance in its original shell? So I visited my local game shop, and they had 6 of these bad boys. There's 7 of them, just stacked on top of each other behind, inside of the glass case. I asked the guy at the counter, like, hey, can I see these Game Boys? I was like, hey, can I check all of them out? He was like, yeah, go for it. Some of them were dead. I had my Game Boy with me. They didn't have any readily available chargers, so I was like, hey, can I take the battery out of mine and throw it into these just to make sure that they're working? And if they are working, I want to see how good they look. And so he was like, yeah, go for it. He gave me a screwdriver. He did super chill. I love that store. But yeah, I picked this one up. This was the best condition out of all of them. And honestly, the only imperfection that this Game Boy has is this front right here. It's scratched up. It looks like somebody threw it in their pocket, and they had their keys in their pocket or whatever. But nonetheless, like, this thing is in awesome condition. Whoever had this took very good care of it, because even the ports are clean. Ports are clean. The back is clean. I did take out the original battery that was in here. Not the original battery, but whoever owned this before threw a different battery in here, just a better battery, newer one, I guess. I did take that out, and I replaced it with the Funny Plane upgraded battery, which is awesome. I'm rocking the Easy Flash Omega Definitive Edition. I finally cracked down and decided to pick it up. I do have some Game Boy Advance games available for me to play, but I am the kind of guy that I love to have quality of life things, and I like when something will just improve my quality of living. Not that this is going to improve my quality of living. I don't need this to live, right? But having an Easy Flash helped so much, because I can play whatever game I want, whenever I want, and I don't have to worry about having to spend $120 on Pokemon Fire Red to play it on its original hardware. You know what I'm saying? But it's in awesome condition. I love this thing. I've put so many hours into this Game Boy Advance. It's so beautiful. I love it. I can't just not smile when that happens. This is the Easy Flash. Threw the custom firmware on there, loaded it up with the entire EverDrive full files for it. These are the couple of the games that I've recently played on it. Teen Titans, Wario Land 4, Golden Sun, Astro Boy. Those are all games that I've played. I absolutely hated Golden Sun. I never picked it up. I played it for like 3 days, and then I didn't play it for a whole day because I was busy that day. And so when I loaded the game up the next day, I was like, yeah, I don't want to play this. So I deleted my save file. I had like 6 hours put into it, you know. So I was like, yeah, I don't want to play this game. Wario Land 4 is absolutely phenomenal. Teen Titans, absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah, I love this thing. It's an original Game Boy, man. I mean, can't go wrong with it. I do not plan on doing any form of modifications to this. I'm going to leave it in its stock hardware. I'm going to leave it in its stock components. The only thing I did was upgrade the battery, and that's because, why not? And I got the Easy Flash. That's not really a mod. That's just more so for gaming conveniencies. I will not mod this one, but I do plan on, in a future, reshelling this and throwing an IPS on it. Those are my Game Boys. Let's go up the ladder in terms of age. I got right here my handy dandy bad boy Nintendo DS Lite in red. I had a Nintendo DS Lite when I was a kid, but it was all black. Unfortunately, it broke. My brother broke it. I'm the oldest of 3 siblings, so my 2 siblings also had DS Lites, but my brother broke all of them because let's just say my brother's a little bit of I'm sorry. Let's just say my brother was a little bit of a rageful gamer back then, okay? He was like 8, 7 or 8. I can't really blame him. But yeah, the story behind this bad boy is I went to a local game store with my buddies. They picked me up. It was like a Saturday or whatever. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. They opened up at 9. So, they picked me up. We went to this game store, and I was walking around the store like whatever, like anybody else would, and I saw this thing just sitting there, on a random glass case. It wasn't even inside of the glass case. It was on the glass case, and it had a price tag, small little white rectangular piece of paper stuck to it, and it said $60. I was like, huh, okay. It was the funniest thing. The funny thing about it is, before I picked it up and looked at it, my buddy was walking through that area before I was, and he saw it. He picked it up, turned it on, checked the stylus, make sure it was there, opened it, checked it all out, and then he just put it back down. I was like, I didn't know that he did that, but I saw the DS, and when I saw it, I picked it up, and I was like, oh my goodness, this thing looks amazing. It looks beautiful. I had my Game Boy on me at that time, so I had Donkey Kong Country with me, so I was like, well, let me see if it turns on. And it turned on, and then I was like, okay, well, let me just test the game. So I tested Donkey Kong Country, and it absolutely worked phenomenally, whatever. Phenomenally, there we go. And so, yeah, I picked it up for $60, and I have, let me just turn this off just to show you guys. I'm rocking the R4 Gold 2019 edition for it. I did have this originally in my 3DS, my original 3DS, but once I picked this bad boy up, I stuck it in here. Whenever I play any Nintendo DS Lite games, I'm playing it on here. For the last 2 weeks, I've been continuously playing this thing. I'm currently playing it now, actually. It's my go-to daily handheld at the moment, because I'm currently playing through Mega Man ZX. Great game so far. I'm a huge fan of the Mega Man games, and so I'm excited to go and play through that. I just finished playing through The World Ends With You. 10 out of 10 game. I have no words to describe to you how amazing that game is. But yeah, Mega Man ZX, it's what I'm playing through now. I highly recommend it. But yeah, it's a great system. Nintendo absolutely blew it out the park with this one, and I'm happy that I have this in my collection. We also have next this is the bad boy right here, the original. My original Nintendo 3DS in flame red. I got this for my birthday when I was 12. And that was in around 2012, end of 2011, whatever the case may be. This is my original 3DS. I got this thing 10 years ago, man. I don't know, aside from having to sell things perhaps for, financial reasons, I don't see why anybody would want to get rid of the things that they own. I'm a huge believer of this stuff has history behind it. This is my 3DS. I have been the only owner of this 3DS. You know, only God knows how many people owned this DS before I picked it up. Only God knows how many people owned this Game Boy before I picked it up. This Nintendo 3DS has been mine and mine alone since the day that I got it and I unboxed it on my birthday. And I rocked. I have it here. I used to rock this case. This is just the front side, but I did also have the back side. I used to rock this bad boy on it just to protect it because I was a kid, and well, I had 2 younger siblings, and you know, only God knows what could have happened if there was no protection on it. But I'm an adult now. I know what I'm doing. I know how to take care of my stuff. And as I say that, I find that there is a crack in my 3DS. Oh man, I don't know if you guys can see that, but right here. Oh man, that sucks. Ask me if I'm going to fix it. No sir, I'm not, because it doesn't affect the inside of the 3DS, and because it doesn't affect the inside of the 3DS, we're just going to leave it cracked. No harm, no foul, right? The only thing I sure hope doesn't happen is I hope this doesn't expand. I'm probably expanding it now. There's definitely an outside crack. I can definitely see it. I probably just made it worse though. It's okay. I don't really use this thing. I don't think it'll do that much damage to where it stops it from being able to be used. Anyways, this is my childhood 3DS. It's in pretty good condition. It's cracked. I didn't know it was cracked. I literally just found out now that it was cracked. But hey, what can you do, man? These things are meant to be used. These things are meant to be, you know, they're supposed to be used, and they wear out. I don't know how it cracked there. It may have perhaps happened. I don't know. I haven't really dropped this thing. I don't know. No big deal. I'm not worried about it. I'm happy with this thing. Yeah, I hacked it. I threw the Breath of the Wild theme on there. And yeah, I threw some games on here for my wife to play. My wife was playing it for a while. She was playing through some Animal Crossing, New Leaf. Great game, by the way. Got some Phineas and Ferb. Regular Show. I really don't like this game. It's not that good of a game. The Mario Top 100, Shovel Knight, and Snoopy's Grand Adventure. My wife wanted to play a couple of those games, so I set her up with them. And so yeah, I love this thing. This is my childhood system. I'm never gonna get rid of it. It's gonna stay with me for as long as I live. I don't use it at all ever because I have a 3DS XL, new Nintendo 3DS XL that I use, but it's always gonna be with me because I love this thing and it just means a lot to me. Okay, so yeah, unfortunate to see though that it's cracked. I wonder if I could shine my flashlight and if you guys would be able to see anything through that. Yeah, there it is. Clear as day. As clear as day. You see it right here? Yeah. Wow. The funny thing about it is that it happened right exactly where the 3D slider is at, which is super crazy. But, I mean, what can you do? Things break. I don't think this will affect the funny thing is that it looks like it feels when I rub my nail over it, it only feels like it's on the outside here on the edge, and then it feels like it just goes inwards. So I don't feel any cracks over here. I feel a crack here on this little flange right here. But no big deal. Hey, things happen. Not a big deal. That's not going to affect any of the gameplay. That's not going to affect any of the use of it. No big deal. That's my Nintendo 3DS. Let's go and move forward to the creme of la creme. My new Nintendo 3DS XL. This thing is the reason why I do not use this thing. I still have this thing simply because of the fact that I have memories with it, and there is history on this thing, and I will never get rid of it. This I picked up secondhand at my local game shop. I want to say maybe 4 months ago. It's a really cool story, actually. I had a bunch of Pokemon cards. I went through all my Pokemon cards. I had some decent cards, some valuable cards, and I didn't want them anymore. They just took up a lot of space, and I was gonna find myself having a lot more use out of a game system, right? Because I wasn't gonna go buy this specifically. I was gonna see how much money I was gonna get for the cards, and with that money, I was gonna pick up a game system, whether if it was, a Game Boy Advance, AGS 101, or if it was gonna be, maybe it was gonna be a DMG or whatever the money was gonna allow me to grab. And so I take them my Pokemon cards. They looked through all of the Pokemon cards I wanted to sell them. And while they're looking through everything, trying to get me an estimate, I started looking through all the stuff that they had, and I found myself with this bad boy. This is at the point of my life, right? This was a couple months back, 4 or 6 months back. At that time, I didn't know anything about the Nintendo 3DS line of systems. All I knew was that I had the original red one, and that they made some XL versions of it, and that's it. That's all I knew. I didn't know that there was a new Nintendo 3DS XL, or whatever the case may be. So upon seeing this thing, there had like 6 of them stacked, and so I looked at every single one of them, and I found myself with this one. It didn't have the case. I picked up this case and purchased it and put it on. Originally, it didn't have a case on it, but I looked around it, and it was in pristine condition. And so, after, looking at it, they tell me, hey, we looked all over your, we looked at all of your Pokemon cards. We're gonna be able to give you, I think it was like $230 or something for it. I was like, okay, great. This thing was priced at $180. I had already made the decision I was gonna pick it up. I was also eager to pick up Pokemon Y, either Pokemon X or Y, or Pokemon Sun and Moon. And so I asked, and I was like, hey, do you guys have, any Pokemon X or Y or Sun and Moon nearby or in the store? And thankfully they had one more copy of Pokemon Y, and they had an extra copy there of Pokemon Moon. Picked those up, and the grand total was $0.00. Let's just say that the amount of money that they gave me for my Pokemon cards was enough to cover for this and the 2 games. I think they gave me like $230. This was priced at like $180. I also had some points with them at the store, and not only did I have points, but I also got some trade-in credit, and not only that, but they had like a 20% off that day. So yeah, I got this and 2 games for like $220, $225. So yeah, super happy with this thing. I have put time into this. I'm not gonna go, super in depth with it. I'm gonna open it up for you guys so you guys can see it. Rocking the Zelda Link Between Worlds theme, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not going to indulge on this thing because I want to make a whole separate video to this. This 3DS deserves a whole separate video. I love it that much, and I've seen so many other people make videos dedicated to it that I want to be part of that group of people that shows love and appreciation to the 3DS. My next one. Alrighty. Sorry guys, I'm just checking something real quick. Alright. One of my handhelds is is an old phone of mine, so it's charging, so I have to make sure it's charged so I can show you guys. It's the last one I'm going to show you guys. The second to last handheld that I have here is one of my favorite and one of the most meaningful handhelds. I think this one means a lot to me, more than my original 3DS. And the reason why is because my wife gifted this to me on our anniversary last year, and we were going through some difficult times, not in our marriage, just in life. We were facing some, tough times in life. Life is hard for everybody, and a real difficult time. My wife, I love my wife. She's my best friend. She's always been my best friend. She's always going to be my best friend. And we were going through some tough times together. And for our anniversary, she surprised me with this. I think for like 6 months straight. I was telling her like, man, I want this thing, I want this thing, I want to get it. And but I never picked it up because I don't know, I just didn't. And my wife surprised me with it, and it means a lot to me. I carry it in this 3D printed shell. My buddy printed this out for me. I found the pattern on Thingiverse and sent it to him, and he printed it out, and it's always in here whenever I'm not using it. This is the Anbernic RG35XX. They just released the RG35XX Plus a couple of months back. Another competitor to this is the Miyu Mini and the Miyu Mini Plus. All great handhelds. I just love this one because my wife got it for me. Once she gave it to me, I immediately loaded it up with Garlic OS. Threw Garlic OS on it. I found myself with the after doing some research and doing some research on the forums, I found out about the Tiny Best Set Go ROM package. Threw it on here, and I absolutely love this thing. I haven't done any modifications to it. I know that there are people that have that you can pick up or 3D print the Better Buttons mod, and basically all that is these two buttons are angled up more so like this. Is it like that? No. These buttons are angled down, and these buttons are more angled up, so you can have a better grip on it. Because right now, if I lay my index fingers on these rear buttons, it's flat. The mod allows for your finger to lay here, so the L2 and R2 buttons will be more inclined upwards. So you can just naturally rest your fingers there, and it's easier to hit, or distinguish L1 and L2 and R1 and R2. The only mod I have done to this is I took the whole thing apart, and a common issue with this handheld is that you will at times get false diagonals when using the D-pad. I took the whole thing apart, did the tape mod on the board, and it fixed my issues. It runs great. It works perfectly. I have put time into this thing. I just recently I finished I finished my Castlevania craze for like a whole month. I was just hooked on Castlevania. I'd never played them before. I wanted to play them, and I played and beat Castlevania 1 on the NES, right here, emulated. I played and beat Simon's Quest, Castlevania 2. I played and beat Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. This was torture. I played and beat Castlevania The Adventure on Game Boy. I do not recommend this game to anybody. This game is a 0 out of 5 stars. I hate this game. This game gave me headaches. If it wasn't for save states, I truly do not understand how I would have beat this game. Do not play this game if you really want to. I played it for completionist's sake, for the fact that I wanted to play through all of Castlevanias. Oh my goodness, do not play this game. I also played through Super Castlevania 4. This is my favorite Castlevania out of all of them that I've played to date. I have not played the Nintendo DS Castlevanias. I have not played the Game Boy Advance Castlevanias. I just know that this one is my favorite. The music, I love the music on all the Castlevanias. That's just to put that out there. But the music, the gameplay, the mechanics, amazing. And I'm glad that save states are a thing, because if it wasn't for the save states, I would not have beaten these games. Pokemon Unbound, I played a little bit through it. If you guys don't know what Pokemon Unbound is a Pokemon Fire Red ROM hack. And it's an absolute amazing game. I have not beat it yet. I haven't played it in probably 8 months, so I'm pretty sure that the next time I load this thing up, I'm going to have to start from the beginning, but it's so good. It has so many great mechanics. Some of the mechanics from the Nintendo DS era of Pokemon games are on here, and honestly, they're just amazing. This is the system that I played and beat Pokemon Fire Red on. I played Metal Gear Solid, played and beat that. I haven't played and beat Final Fantasy VII yet. But yeah, this is a great system. I highly recommend it. It's so awesome. I love this thing, man. It uses Garlic OS. Black Seraph is the creator, and he's an awesome dude. He's always upgrading, always updating, always trying to see what he can do better. These are all the systems that I have on here. arcade, Atari, NES, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. We got Game Gear, Sega Genesis. We got Sega Master System, PCE. No, this is Neo Geo, PCE, PCE CD, PCX, Sega CD, and then SNES. This specific ROM package, I grabbed it from the Tiny Best Set Go. Absolute amazing ROM package. This thing's awesome, man. I highly recommend it. I honestly have no words to describe how beautiful this system is. I love it. But that's let's move forward to my last and final handheld. And this handheld means a lot to me for the simple fact that this is what got me into retro gaming again. I was never really a retro gamer. I was born in '99. You know, I had a GameCube as growing up. I had a PS1, PS2 growing up. I had handhelds growing up, but I was never, I never had a Sega Dreamcast, or I never had an NES. I never had an SNES. Before I had all of these handhelds, right? I always had this one. This one I always had. But before I had any of these, I had this. Let me turn the brightness down for you guys so it's not... There we go. I don't like that. Maybe the lowest would be better. No. Yeah, I'm having trouble trying to figure out the exposure and all that stuff on my camera. Alright, I adjusted the exposure. If it's a little darker, it's because I brought the exposure down just by one setting. But it's just so you guys can have a better view of this. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. So, this is my OnePlus 7T. I currently have a Google Pixel 7. This is my daily carry. I love this thing. It's an awesome phone. But I'm the kind of guy that I like to keep my phones. I don't like to turn them in and get a different one. I like to keep my phones. I have this one upstairs in my drawer. I have my OnePlus 5T, and when I got my Google Pixel 7, I had this laying in a drawer, and I was, I started getting into, emulation, retro emulation, and one of the people that really inspired me to do this is Retro Game Core. I don't know if you guys know who he is. Awesome YouTuber. He's a great guy. He super active on YouTube. He's an honest reviewer. One of my favorite YouTubers, to be honest, and he's the one that motivated me to turn my phone into a handheld gaming device. Before I had any of these devices, I did all of my gaming on here. I did all of my Game Boy gaming here. I did all of my NES here. The only system I didn't play here, even though I do have the emulator for it, was DS and 3DS. And I'm gonna get into that here after I show you guys this one. So I'm using a custom home app. It's called Console Launcher. I freaking love this launcher, man. It doesn't even feel like it's a phone. It feels like I'm holding a mini Nintendo Switch in my hand, man. I'm rocking the GameSir X2 Pro. Is that what it's called? It's just the GameSir X2. I picked this up on Mercari for $15, which is an absolute steal because it retails for like $40. And it came with everything. It came with extra grips. It came with the sticker. Awesome thing. It has a cool little USB-C port here, so you can connect your charger to it, and it'll charge the system. They have, GameSir has an application that you can use to change your key binds or your button binds, and it's an absolutely awesome handheld alternative. If you just have a phone laying around, pick up one of these bad boys, man. Pick up one of these. It's not Bluetooth. It's USB-C connected here, as you can see. I wanted a more direct connection. I didn't really want Bluetooth. I have not experienced any issues. Press the wrong button. I set up RetroArch here on my phone, RetroArch or whatever you want to call it. Honestly, it took me forever to figure out how to use RetroArch. There are other methods of being able to emulate stuff. There's a bunch of other front ends that you could use, but I just really wanted to use RetroArch, man. There's something about it. And although I don't really use my phone as much as I did before, man, trying to figure out how to play Dreamcast games on here was a pain in the butt. I will never play these games. And I probably will never do this ever again in my life. But it was a pain in the butt. It was also a pain in the butt trying to find out how to figure out how to make arcade games work on this thing. But I figured it out. It took me like weeks of trial and error, but I primarily use if I'm going to use my phone and my handheld, it's primarily so I can play PSP games. I had a PSP when I was a kid, PSP 1000 or 2000 I think it was, all black. I don't know what happened to it as a kid. I think I hacked it and then it broke. I don't really remember. I do plan on picking up a PSP, a PS Vita. At some point in time, hacking that and making that my primary PSP machine. But if I don't pick one up, I'm not bothered by it. This right here works perfectly. I played and beat God of War Chains of Olympus. I loaded up and I've played a little bit of Gran Turismo. I haven't played a lot of games on this for the simple fact that I've just been focused on playing other games on other systems. But yeah, this is my dedicated PSP system. I have other other emulators on here, but I use this primarily for PSP because it gives me it just gives me the vibes, right? I mean, it's the closest to a PSP that I'll get, you know what I'm saying? And so I use this for my PSP. So why do I have all of these handhelds? Oh, well, Jupitness, I mean, if you know how to set up RetroArch and if you know how to do all this stuff, then why would you have all of these handhelds? I'm going to turn up the exposure a little bit so we can get a little better lighting in here. There we go. Jupitness, if you have all of these handhelds, if you know how to set up, if you know how to use RetroArch and you know how to use emulators on your phone and you know how to use emulators on your PC, why do you have all of these handhelds? And the main reason why I have all of these handhelds is because I believe that there's nothing better than being able to play games on the hardware that those games were made for. I truly believe that, honestly, yes, I don't have an NES, I don't have an SNES. I have my RG35XX and I have no problem playing those retro system games on here. And I'll never pick up an NES. I'll never pick up an SNES, right? I have the SNES Mini. I have the NES Mini, modded, hacked, with tons of games on it. So if I really wanted to play an NES game, I'd play it there. But, Jupitness, why? Why handhelds? And it's because, why not? They're so portable. They're so convenient. You telling me I can pop this into my pocket and or throw it in my bag, and whenever I'm not at home, if I got some downtime, I can freaking load up Double Dragon for NES and play through it if I wanted to? I don't have to wait to get home to load up my NES with Double Dragon? I mean, if you can even find the game at a reasonable price nowadays. But it's so convenient having all these things at your disposal. Not only that, but I'm a firm believer that there's nothing better than being able to play video games on the consoles and the handhelds that they were intended to be played on. There's nothing better than me being able to turn on my Game Boy Advance and load up Pokemon Emerald and play it on my Game Boy Advance, right? I could always load it up on here and play it on here, right? No problem. I could always load it up on my PC and play it on my PC, but there's just nothing better than opening this bad boy, turning it on, and loading up Pokemon Emerald. There's nothing better than being able to pick up my Nintendo DS Lite and have my R4 card in there and load up Mario Kart DS. Yeah, I can do that on my, my hand. Yeah, I can do that on my phone. Yeah, I can load it up on my PC and play it there. But there's no better feeling, right? And so that's why I'm a handheld geek. I'm a handheld nerd. I love handhelds. I'll always love handhelds. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. It's a 40-minute video. I didn't know it was going to be a 40-minute video, but got some chill music in the background. Chill little video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, man. What are your guys' favorite handhelds? Why are they your favorite handhelds? You know what I'm saying? Feel free to leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to hear, out of all the handhelds that I have, which one do you guys like the most? Which one do you guys prefer? Let me know what you guys think about, my phone. I mean, my phone handheld. Like, this thing's awesome. I primarily play PSP games on it, and it's perfect for it, So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if this is the kind of content you guys are into. We got some more videos coming soon. Don't worry, because soon I'll be making a video on this bad boy, the new Nintendo 3DS XL. Gonna show you what I have on it. Gonna show you what games I've played. Gonna give you guys my honest review, because I absolutely love this thing, man. If there's any of these handhelds, if you guys want to see a more in-depth video of these handhelds, feel free to leave it in the comments, man. Let me know. I have no problem going more in depth with these systems, or if you guys wanted to, if you guys wanted anything more from these systems, let me know. We got some more cool videos coming up soon. We're gonna make a video on the new Nintendo 3DS XL. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do some more gameplay videos, Fallout gameplay videos. Stay tuned, guys, for some more cool, dope videos. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Hope you guys have a great night. Hope you guys have a great day. Wherever it is that you are in the world, hope you have a good one. God bless every single one of you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.